stitchy friends, welcome to Cross My Stitches. My name is Jackie and today is Wednesday, January 29th, 2020. This is episode 41 of my flosstube channel, and I want to welcome everyone to coming today and visiting with me and spending a little time while we talk about cross stitch. So if you saw flosstube and you thought we were going to talk about some dental stuff, then you're in the wrong place, because we're not talking about floss for your teeth. We're talking about floss that we use for cross stitch. So you're going to have to do a research for that one. Anyway, it's so great to be back again and to share what I have been working on. It's been a little over a week, and it's been a busy week for me because I started, my glasses are crooked. Maybe I'm just crooked. I don't know. I can't I look crooked. Okay, if they're crooked, I'm sorry. I can't fix them right now. Anyway, I started a new job. It's only part-time, but it looks like I'm working full-time hours at this point, so I don't have much time for stitching and doing other things. But I did get some stitching done, so let's jump right into it and talk about what I have been working on. I do have a finish, so not an FFO, just a finish, and it is from Summer House Stitch Works, Sister Suffragette. And if you don't know, it is the 100th anniversary for the women to get the vote. So in 1920 we were given the voting rights, and it's now 2020, so it's 100 years. So you might have seen some people stitching this kind of things during this year. It's a great year to find a pattern that has shows our voting rights and celebrate it as women. So important day, important 100 years for us. And I have a plan to do all of the buttons. There are actually, I think, 6 different buttons which are like this that you can actually make, and they are the USA button, UK. So in 1920, USA was women were given the right to vote. In 1918, the UK gave women the right to vote, so they were 2 years ahead of us in doing that. In Canada, they did 1917. They gave women the right. In the Netherlands, it was 1919. In France, it was 1944. In Australia, it was 1911. So we were pretty late to the game, France being the last one to give women the right to vote in 1944. But I'm glad that they did, and I have a special way I'm going to complete all this, and I'm not going to share that right now because I'm not even close to that, but hopefully I'll be able to get that done before the end of the year. And this is my first finish. Yeah, of course, I did the USA button first. There it is. And I'm going to finish it in the button and hopefully be wearing that on our voting days. And I did change out the colors to my own color conversion, which is, if anyone's interested, hold on, let me see if I have it in the bag. Don't know if I kept it or I didn't. I have the floss with me, so let's take a look at what I did. I used DMC colors, so 796 for the blue, 304 for the red, 680 for the gold, and I did, whoops, I think it's just regular white. Nope, B52 for the white. Whoops, you can't see that, can you? So B5200. You guys see that? There you go. B52. Those are the colors that I used for the USA one. Now, funny enough, most all of the buttons have the same color scheme. Almost all of them are in red, white, and blue. So they all have their different flags and stuff. I love the Canada one. That will be my next one because my relatives came from Canada. My father's family lived in Canada for several generations and came across in, I want to say it was the 1920s, 1930s. They came into the U.S. And before Canada, they were from the Netherlands. So I will be doing the Netherlands after Canada, and then I'll finish the rest. But really love it. Such a cute little thing. I'm going to finish it as a button, just like the instructions show. If I think about it and I think I can swing it, I will video how I finish it so you guys can see. And I'm glad to have that one done. One done, 5 to go. So I'm glad to have that finished. And then I have been working on several different things. Part of them are because of, hold on, my string is caught here. Part of them are from being in Cheryl McKinney's Daily 30 Facebook group and doing the yearly scavenger hunt. So I got involved in doing that and making sure I was working on things. I have slowed down a little in the scavenger hunt because you're supposed to choose 3 patterns that you could work on 3 projects, 3 whips. And you worked on those 3 whips throughout the entire year on the scavenger hunt unless you finish one, and then you could add a new one. So, but sometimes I want to work on something besides those 3. So I'm flip-flopping back and forth on what I'm working on. But I did work on this one, which I believe is one of mine. And it is, here, let me see, where's my board? This is the Early American series by Little House Needlework. And I am also using, you'll see that border along the top, that is Vanna's border that she designed for this series. If you're doing this series and you're interested in that border, please go over to Vanna's blog, which is thetwistedstitcher.blogspot.com, and she has where you can download this border for free, which was awesome, and I really loved it, and I did go and get it. And I just finished Nathan Hale, so he is done. And the next one I'll be working on is the centerpiece, which is this one, which is Freedom. So I'll start that one soon. I started working on trying to get the borders done. I might try just to do all the borders and get those completed so I know where I'm at. And then maybe work on this border here while I'm doing the centerpiece. So really glad I finally got this pulled back out again. If you're on the Little House Needleworks and Country Cottage Facebook group, they have something called Sampler Sundays. That's the reason I pulled this one back out. In fact, this isn't part of my Daily 30 scavenger hunt, sorry. This is part of my Sampler Sunday that I've already had this started, and when she mentioned it, I really wanted to pull it out and make a specific day where I could work on that. And I'm glad I did because I got Nathan Hale done. I'm about to start the next one this Sunday, which is awesome. And I'll continue doing that. The other piece that I'm doing on a regular basis is Santa Saturday, which I designated Santa Saturday, that I was going to work on my Santa piece every single Saturday. So that at least once a week it's getting touched because it's such a big piece. And this is the one I'm doing. It is Lavender and Lace Santa of the Forest, and he is just so gorgeous. One of the girls that is in a group that I'm in, she had brought it to a stitching event on Saturday. She has hers finished, Nessie, and hers was absolutely gorgeous. I was like, oh my gosh, I really need to get busy on mine and get it done. I would love to have this hanging up for Christmas this year. So I'm glad she brought hers for me to see and for everyone else to see because it really was beautiful. And I'm looking forward to working on this every Saturday. So this is where I'm at. I'm not very organized today, I'm sorry. A little scattered. This is where I'm at. And there he is. I got most of the bears done. The only thing that's not done is he's got another hand that goes right there. This is Santa's beard up here in the white, and this is part of Santa's coat that's coming down. I felt like I was tired of doing brown, so I decided to jump to the side and start doing some of Santa's coat that he wears. So really thrilled with it. It is just gorgeous. This is such a fabulous pattern. If you love Santa and you love the woodland creatures and stuff, you really need to hunt this pattern down. It is an out-of-print pattern, but there are plenty of them available on Etsy stores, on eBay. You can find it. It's not hard to find and they're not very expensive. So it's an awesome pattern and I love it. Quite a few of the lavender and lace pieces are really beautiful. They're very timeless. To me, they're very timeless. Like you could put them up anytime and they just look gorgeous. So the next one I'm working on is, this was part of my scavenger hunt. And this is Crossed Wing Collection Cedar Wax Wings. So I have a ton of Crossed Wing Collection patterns and I need to get busy on them. This one just called to me at one point. This is the first one I've started and I haven't spent a lot of time on it. I really need to spend some more time on it. But I'm thrilled with how it's looking so far. I'm doing it on, and before I say that, let me go back for a minute. Santa's being done on 32 count natural linen. So that's the color, and I think that's what it calls for. And the Early Americans is being done on a 32 count sand that's an even weave. And I have to tell you, this even weave is awesome because it does not hold wrinkles and crease lines. I hardly ever have to iron. I mean, I use a hoop on this. You can't see hoop lines. It doesn't hold the marks. It's just incredible fabric. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And it's also the only 32 count fabric that I've ever stitched on that I prefer doing 1/2. So on this, if you look really close, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, the Vanna's border up here and the red border below it are done 2/2, and it is really tight. It's tight. The house and everything else you see there is 1/2 on 32 count. It is a very tight weave, and I was really surprised that 1/2 would do it for a 32 count. So I really love stitching on that. Okay, back to where we were. So anyway, sorry about that. This is a 36 count flax linen, and that's where I'm at right now. I finished off all this branch here and put the little, what do they call them? Crab apples, or what they're calling those. Now I gotta look because I'm not sure what they're calling them. I'm sure you guys know are yelling it at me, but crab apples. So, and then I started on his claws here. So I'm going to continue to work the branch all the way across and get the branch done. And then I'll finish up the bird. But just beautiful. Love the colors. Love the shading. Really beautiful patterns. Crosswing again. Very timeless. I think their patterns just cross-end any time and change. They're just beautiful and so realistic. So really love that. And I worked on that for a little bit this week. I did some more on my Circle of Friends, Swirly Birds and Flowers. This is part of my scavenger hunt. This is the one that replaced my Stand for Freedom when I finished that. So I've been working on this. And this is just so cute, you know. Sam Sarah is very whimsical. It's so adorable. But there it is. I need to pull this back out maybe today or tomorrow and work on it some more because I want to get it finished so I can return the pattern to who owns it. So did that, and then the last one is, let's see if I can get my iPad open because it is PDF'd. It is the Linens and Threads Mystery Sampler Sal. If you haven't seen it, this is it here. It is a 12-part series by Linens and Threads, and Fox Run, I think it's, what is it? Fox and Rabbit Designs is the designer. Whoops. And you can go to the Linens and Threads website, and they will point you in the directions for the yearly stitch-alongs. They have some from 2017, I believe, until 2020. And I decided to jump on board on this one because it's a Quaker. And I think it's really beautiful. And I wanted to start it right at the beginning. So, and this is where I'm at with this. I chose a 36 count linen that I hand dyed myself. in a minty green. And then the floss that I'm using is Silks for You PR111. So, and this is what it looks like. So I just finished that one up this morning. I'm not putting any of the initials in because I'm not sure what I'm going to put in those spaces, so I'm going to leave it blank until the end. But love stitching on it, love the Silks for You. I'm so silky and just glides through the fabric absolutely wonderfully. Really impressed with the quality of the silks, and they just feel so yummy. I just want to rub it all the time. It just feels wonderful. So really thrilled with that. Just beautiful. Looking forward for the next section to come out so I can work on that. And thankfully they only take, you know, 3-4 days to get a section done. So it's something that you can do besides working on other projects. So it makes it really easy. You got the whole month to get it done. So that's what I've been working on. I'll continue to work on all those. I also worked on my husband's Christmas stocking, which was the Christmas sled stocking. Didn't get much done on that, so I didn't feel the need to show it this time. So next time when you see it, hopefully it'll have a lot more work done on it. Other than that, I have a few things that I have purchased. I joined the 2020 Stitch from Stash Facebook group. I really like the group because they kind of hold you accountable if you want to participate. So you pick how much you want your monthly budget to be. I picked $25. I think that was the limit too. $25 a month that I could spend. And then you get credits, or you can add funds to your budget if you have finishes. And Miss Oh So Crafty is the moderator of the group. I can't remember her first name, I'm sorry. And she has given lots of information in the files on how to calculate what your stitching is worth finished, how much of a credit you'll get, or how much more you can add to your budget. And then you're held accountable every month. So at the end of the month, you have to talk about and post what your budget was, what did you buy, what did you gain in finishes, and what do you add at the end of the month. And it's a 6-month commitment, and at the end of the 6 months, if you're in the plus side, then you get to be put into a drawing for a prize. So, and I hope I'm telling that right. If I'm not, somebody can post down below and tell me that I'm not right about this. I think that's what I read. So, but I really enjoyed being in it and calculating finishes and stuff. So I've had, let me see, how many finishes have I had this month? Hold on, I'm gonna flip across here for just a second because I want to see. I wrote something down somewhere. At least I think I did. Okay, so January, and we're coming up on the end of the month, so I don't think I'm going to have any more finishes. I don't know if I can count. I have to look because sales are included, and I may be able to, part one, I may be able to collect like $5 for that. So I'll go back and look and I'll correct it. But I started with $25. I got $17 for my Stand for Freedom finish. I got $8 for my Nathan Hale from the Early Americans. I got $8 from that. And then $5 for my USA button. And so that's $55 total for the month. And then I have spent, let's see if any of this stuff is over here so I can show you as I'm talking about. Sorry. Noisy. Oh, that's not something I want. This is part of it. This is part of it. This and this. Okay. So, what I got for the month was I ordered a booklet off of eBay. I won a book off of eBay. And the one that I bought was this one, Sam Hawkins Designs Cross Stitch for Christmas Plaid. That cost me $2. And thankfully, when you do these things, you don't have to calculate the shipping. It's just what you paid for items. It doesn't include shipping. So I paid $2 for that one because I have a whole bunch of this fabric, and I have a runner, I have placemats, and I have napkins, and I want to do something with them. And it's got some cute designs. It really does. I love these bells right here. And I love this up here. It looks like it's all in gold and green, really pretty. And then on the back, it's got some cute things. So really cute. So if anybody knows of any other patterns that shows them completed on this Christmas plaid, please let me know in the comments below so I can look them up to see if it's something I'm interested in. And then the buyer sent me this one for free, which was another one that has some cute little designs on it. I really kind of like this right here. It's like a little wreath, and it's really pretty. It doesn't show a great picture of it, but it's a really pretty wreath, so I really like that. So I got these for $2. I went on Annie's website after I talked about it last time and bought the Halloween collection of Just Cross Stitch and CD. If you watched my last video, I showed you guys that this was on sale for $9.99, regularly $25. It was $10, plus I had a code for free shipping, which I also shared on my last video. So I was able to get this for $10. It has 4 years, 11 through 14 on it, and there's a lot in here that I really love. So I've already made a list of ornaments and Halloween stuff that I want to get done that are in here that I'm really happy that I got this. I love these CDs. Absolutely love it. I don't want to pay $5, $6 for every issue, but this is awesome to me because I have it. And then I bought some of these Easy Glide ball tipped needles from Annie's catalog because I wanted to try them. Everybody's talking about how wonderful they were, so you see they're not in there. And I guess I'm already using them before I'm talking about them. Bad Jackie. And I have to tell you that I had a little bit of mixed feelings about them. I tried using them on a 36 count fabric, and I wasn't that thrilled with them. I didn't like the way it went through and it's a 28 count, by the way. I didn't like the way that it went through the fabric, and then I put it away for a little bit, and then I pulled it out for another project, and I was doing in 32. And I have to say, in the 32 count, love it. Love the needles. So if you've tried the needles and you're not happy with them, try them in different fabrics because it's always going to feel different with different flosses and different fabrics. So definitely will hang on to them. I really like them. And I will test them, and if I'm not happy with that fabric, I'll go to a regular needle. So, but really happy with those. So with the CD and the needles, I paid $17.98. So that went on there. And then my last purchase was off of Facebook Marketplace. Somebody had posted a bunch of gassed Gentle Arts threads. So 17 of them. So they're all here, and they're all new. 17 Gentle Art threads for $15. So I jumped on that one. I contacted her, and it wasn't in my state, so I hunt all over. And it wasn't in my state, but I contacted her and asked her, would you ship them? And she said, sure. So I sent her PayPal. She shipped them to me. Cost $1 to send them, so 16 if you want to count the buck. And got 17 different flosses, which was awesome. So I love gas. They are my favorite floss right now, besides the Silks for You. So those cost me 15. So my total on my spending, oh, and I got a Cricut collection book, and I don't know what happened to it. It was, I think I showed it on the last video. That was $3. So I spent a total of $37.98, which leaves me $17.02 that I still have for this month, plus maybe $5. I'll have to look. So I think I'm doing pretty good. I haven't purchased anything else this month. Oh, I take that back. I got an order coming today from Joann's for 12, I think it's $12.49. So that's $12.50, 13, so I'm down to $4.50. But I'm still in the plus because I had to order something to finish a gift. So, and they said, if I order something that, did she say that? If you order something that is part of a gift, you don't have to claim it. I don't know, but I'm going to claim it because it is something to finish my stitching. So I'm going to count it anyway. So I'm down to $4.50, somewhere in there. So I think I'm still doing really great. I'm happy about that. And in the next couple of months, I'll get, next couple of days, I will get another $25 added to that. So I'm doing really well. I'm glad about that. So that's what I'm doing with the Shop Your Stash, Stitch Your Stash. I'll post it up here and tell you what the group name is if you're interested in joining and looking into it. I know the designers do a lot of work to bring the designs to us and need our support, but I also know that financially I can't continue to spend. So I'm trying to cut back. I do have a lot of stuff and I need to work on what I do have and then be selective about what I purchase, because I keep a list of things that I see that I really love and they stay on my list. I put them, if I can, I put them on a wish list in 123 Stitch because they have a wish list there that I can track. And most times 123 Stitch will carry whatever the item is that I've just seen. So I'm able to put it on there and let it sit in the wish list, and then like once a month I'll go through the wish list and I'll start deleting things because I'm like, no, you know, I was excited about it when it came out, but I'm not that excited about it now. So I'm just going to take it off the list. So it makes it real easy for me not to impulse buy, to really think about what I'm spending my money on, what am I getting, when am I going to work on it, what is my plan. So I like the way that works. So we'll see if I can keep this up. You know me, I don't last long when I make these plans, but I'm going to try to continue doing it. So that's what I'm doing with Stitch Your Stash. What else do I have? I did watch, sorry, my nose is itching. I hate that. I did watch Country Stitchers, Liz and Deb, and they started something that I thought was lots of fun, and I thought I would have told them I was going to add to it. And what it was is they came up with a list of never and cross stitch. So I'm going to add to their list right now on never and cross stitch. And if you haven't seen it, you need to go back and look at their video. It might be their last video, I don't know, or the previous one. If I get time, I will post it in the comments below. I will post what episode that they did this in. But here's my list of 5 never and cross stitch things, okay? Never and cross stitch. Never leave floss out if you have dogs or cats, okay? I have learned from first-hand experience not to lay my cross stitch or my floss out and run to the bathroom, run to get a drink, or do anything else without covering it up, because they are sure to run over and start grabbing and pulling. So never leave it out if you have pets. Number 2, never let the pattern limit your creativity. Just because it shows certain fabrics and certain flosses, you do not have to do it in those colors. You do not have to use that fabric. Be creative. Make it your own. Don't be afraid to change up what you're doing. If you don't have a certain color of floss, pick an alternative and go with it. Use what you have. Don't be afraid to be creative. It makes it uniquely yours. So number 3, get my fingers right. Number 3, okay, never leave an open cup of liquid near your cross stitch. And I know many of you have had this issue where a cup is getting knocked over by a pet, a kid, you, your spouse. Never leave it. I have my container, has a lid on the top, and I leave it away from my cross stitch. Number 4, if you're using fancy floss and you're using the color red, stitch and you're putting white next to it. So if you're doing Americana, flags, anything else, and I learned this again from firsthand experience, if you're stitching red and white next to each other, stitch the white first. Do not stitch the red first and then the white, because as you're pulling your white through the holes past the red, it's gonna pick up the color of the red. You're pulling it multiple times. If you're stitching them up against each other and you're pulling through multiple times, it turns your white pink. I was heartbroken back in 2018 when I started a Lizzie Kate pattern, and I was stitching red, white, and blue. And when I got done with the white and held it back, I could see that the floss was no longer white, it was pink. And I had to throw it away because it was just too much to pick out and it was too upsetting. And I ended up throwing the whole thing away, and I haven't restarted the pattern yet. So if you're stitching with fancy floss, DMC, I haven't never had a problem with DMC running, but any kind of fancy floss, maybe silk, I don't know how red silk is, but if you're putting red and white together, stitch the white first. And number 5, always count twice, stitch once. Because how many of us have counted and then put it in there? Sorry, that's my refrigerator filling water. Timing is everything, sorry. How many times have you counted something, stitched it, and then had to frog it out because it was not the right count? So now I count 2 or 3 times before I will plant a stitch, trying to avoid frogging. So never count just once. Count multiple times, recheck yourself. If you're going further than you plan on going, use stitch markers or something. Every 10, put a stitch marker so that you're not miscounting, because it's so easy. The holes are so dinky to miscount, and you end up in the wrong spot, having to rip it all out. It's very discouraging. You just want to say, oh, I can't do this today. So count more than once, so you only have to stitch once, okay? So then I thought I would add to the other point of that, which is stitchers should always. So this is my list for stitchers should always. I only come up with 4. My mind's drawing a blank, so, and I'll tell you, if you know any others never in cross stitch or stitchers should always, post it below so that we can add it to it, because I'd love to know what you guys think never in cross stitch should be, or what should we always do. So number 1, always, stitchers should always have a checklist for when you're traveling. Take the time now to make a list of the things that you always want to have with you when you are traveling with your stitching. Because I don't care how many times, if you don't have an actual checklist and check every single item, you're going to forget something. I went to the hospital to sit with my mother-in-law, brought my stitching with me, forgot scissors. I checked the bag, I thought I had everything, didn't have my scissors. Thankfully, the nurse at the nurse's station, she saw I started putting it away. She goes, what's the matter? And I said, I forgot my scissors. I can't cut the threads. I'll find you some scissors, she said. And she went and found me some scissors. They were big scissors, but I didn't care. She brought me back scissors so I could continue stitching while I was sitting with my mother-in-law, which was awesome. So make a checklist. So anytime that you're taking your stitching with you, you're checking your checklist and then looking in your bags to make sure that you have everything you need. Okay, the second one is bring an extra project, because I guarantee you, if you're going to be stitching for any amount of time, whether it's a day retreat, it's a weekend retreat, you're going to the hospital, you might not want to stitch on that one thing the whole time, or you miss, so bring an extra project. So you'll always have 2 projects with you. Okay, stitchers should always keep their scissors with a scissor fob, with something to identify it with, especially if you're, again, traveling with scissors. If you're going to a retreat, you're going to a day stitch-in. So many of us have the same looking scissors, and we're all crowded together, you're stitching away, and it's the way to identify your scissors that they're yours, because it's got your fob on it. So that way you don't end up, somebody else doesn't pick it up, mistake, put it in their bag, and off they go, and you're like, oh my God, I lost my scissors. So if you're traveling and stuff, put a scissor fob. It helps you identify your scissors. It helps you find your scissors. If they're in, you know, if they fall between a chair crack or whatever, it makes it easier to find them. And number 4 is stitchers should always feel like they're part of the community, the stitching community. So, and I'll go into that more later. I don't want to talk about that now, but make sure that everybody that is in the group feels like they're part of the stitching community. So those are my stitchers should always. So let's make sure that we're doing those things. Again, if you know some other things we can add, please post them below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on those. And let's see, what else do I have? I did watch one new stitcher. I do watch, and I'll say this, if you think I'm not, if you're a floss tuber, I try to watch as much floss tube as I can. I do watch quite a bit of it on my big television because I'll stitch and listen, and you know, I'll do my lookups when I think you guys are showing things. But I don't always go back and comment, so that's my fault that I don't go back into my history and start leaving comments. Sometimes I try to do it. If I'm watching one or two, I'll stop, get on my laptop, make the comments and stuff, or give it a heart or a like or something. So I do watch quite a bit, even though I may not be commenting or liking all the time I am watching. I did watch a new, well, she was new to me, I think she was new to flosstube too, called Mama Bear Stitchery. She's out of Scotland. Love that accent because I'm Scottish too. I am Irish and Scottish and English, and just found out in the last few weeks that I also have, my family came from the Netherlands, so who knew? So I have that. So she has some fabulous, fabulous finishes and whips. She is very eclectic in her taste of cross stitch. So I think you guys should go check her out and see what she's working on. She has big pieces, little pieces, and I really loved almost everything she was stitching on. I was like, I would stitch that. I'd stitch that. Yep, I'd do that. So it was really great to find her. Please check her out. I will link her below for anybody who's interested in going to check her out. I'm looking at my notes because I'm really bad at remembering what I wanted to talk about. I do need to talk about the giveaways from my last, not my last video, the one before last. So it would be, if this is 41, it would have been 39 that I was offering to give some stuff away. So let's talk about that real quick. I did already reach out to each of the winners on their comments to let them know that they won. And the first one was my Stony Creek Christmas Sentiments, which was the 2 big Christmas trees with the poinsettia in the middle. I've already sent that out. The winner was Stitching Mommy, which was Sarah. She contacted me a couple days ago with her address, and my husband just took it to the post office this morning, so I can't show you what that looked like, but that was Stitching Mommy. Congratulations, Sarah. She also is a floss tuber. Make sure you check her out, and I'll post her channel below. The sampler, let's see where we are. Let's try to do it this way. So Let Us Be Thankful. So this was a pattern out of a magazine that I offered, and the winner was, and I did do random on this. It's just a lot easier for me to just do it ahead of time. And I did it a couple days ago so I could get this done. So Thankful is Kelly Hale. So congratulations, Kelly. I did comment on your comment. Make sure that you reach out to me at CrossMyStitches@yahoo.com and give me your mailing address so I can send this out to you. So congratulations. Land of the Free. Make sure I got this. Oh, Land of the Free, which included this pattern here and the Liberty Bell, and that went to Connie Crossan. Congratulations, Connie. I did reach out to you as well. If you will email me with your mailing address, I will send that out to you. The next one is Funky Cats. So here we go. I love this. This is so cute. And I think I have 2 of this, or I have it. I think I have this one on one of the CDs. So Even though I'm giving up the pattern, I still have it because I do love this one. And the winner was Tuwana37. So Tuwana, congratulations. Make sure you send me an email with your mailing address. I'll get that sent out to you. And then the last one is No Worry Sampler, which is here. And the winner for that is Christy Martin. So Christy Martin, I did reach out to you in your comment on my video. Please give me an email and send me your mailing address and I'll mail that out to you. So congratulations to all my winners. I will tell you that when I have contests, you must be a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, I will filter you out of the contest. And I should go back and say, the Christmas sentiments, that contest was for you to guess my age, how old I turned on December 31st. So nobody guessed the actual age. I had some people that were very close, but I turned 56 on December 31st. So thank you for all of you that gave me birthday wishes, and thank you for participating. As I mentioned before, I didn't want anybody to feel bad if they went above my age. I'm not vain that way as far as how old I am. I take my age proudly, and if I had some gray hairs, I would let my hair go gray because I love that look. For women that are older in their 50s and 60s to have their grays and fully gray, I would love to be fully gray and let my hair just go gray, but my hair does not go gray. It has little sporadic little lines, and that's it. So my mother is in her 80s, and she's the same way. She's still not gray. She has her natural color, and she has just, little, when you see onesie twosies, that's what I get to. So thank you so much for participating, though. It was lots of fun to read your comments. And the apologies for what you were saying. Oh, I hope I'm not guessing too high, or I hope I'm not insulting you. Nope, it was a game. It was okay. I didn't mind at all. So it didn't bother me. But I appreciate everybody who commented about it. And yep, 56. Let's see, I got 56, 62. So I got 6 more years before I can start collecting Social Security. So I don't want to say I'm looking forward to that because that means I'm getting older, but this working thing is for the birds when you start getting older. It's hard to get up and get motivated to go out the door and work, and you come home tired and achy and not as fun as it used to be when you were younger. So anyway, congratulations to those winners. And I did receive a Stitchy gift, so I wanted to share that. I don't want to forget. Nancy, who is, I think it's Quilting Stitcher. Hold on, I want to make sure that I've got the right, what her channel is. She's also a floss tuber, and Nancy is Quilting Stitcher. So I'll post that below. She has a floss tube channel, and she contacted me and asked me if I stitch on Monaco, and I said I do. I do dye it sometimes and stitch on it, and she said, well, I have some that I won't use, so I'm going to send it to you. And I said, oh, that's awesome, thank you, I appreciate it. And what she sent was, there's a Charles Craft 28 count Monaco piece, and she sent me a bunch of other fabrics that are even weaves to stitch on, so which was really generous of her. There's just all these neutrals, like that darker color. So that right there, and just a whole bunch of fabrics. So I love it. I do a lot of ornaments and stuff, so they'll come in great, and some of them are quite large pieces. And then she sent me some patterns too. I was so excited. So a couple of them are Bent Creek, and I love Bent Creek. So this one is called Wave. And Home from Bent Creek. I know, there's something about Bent Creek that I really love too. And this one is All Through the Night Blackbirds. Look at that. It's a monochromatic. I really love that. I bet you that would be really beautiful in a black that is I don't know what they used. They used Weeks Dye Works, nope, Bear Valdani overdyed, hand overdyed color fast floss to aged black. But yeah, a black that has some shading in it and stuff, it looks like that does too. That would be really cool. So really happy to get that. Thank you so much, Nancy. It was very, very generous of you to think of me and send that over. Love it, love it. And I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. I'm going to put you guys on hold for just a minute so I can pick up what I've got here, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I thought we would do a few more giveaways of patterns. Since I said I had a lot of them, and you guys seem to like that, so we'll continue doing that until I run out. This one is for St. Patty's Day and Easter, and I love this idea. They did them in the blocks, but they're double-sided. So this is on one side of the blocks, this is on the other. I love that idea. That is awesome. So you don't have to keep making different ones. You can just flip them to whatever holiday that you have. And they're quite easy to finish. I'm sure there's several YouTube channels that show you how to finish in the blocks. So this is the first one. So if you would like to be entered in a drawing for these, just write in the comments, I would like to stitch the blocks. Okay, so that's one. The next one, this one's cute too. Try to pull them out of my plastic little holders here and make sure that there's nothing else included. Let's see, except the pattern that we need. Uh-oh, I'm missing that pattern, so hold on to that for a second. See what we got here. For some of these I have like 2 different patterns in the same sleeve, so I have to make sure that it's all here before I offer it. I think this one's all here. I know there's a lot of beachy stitchers, people that like to stitch beach related items. This is really cute too, and it's called Beach Dreams. And they made them into coasters, or they made it into all 4 onto one. You could also do all 4 across, one after another, make it long, but they're really cute beach scenes. So if you're interested in this pattern, you'd like to be entered, I would like to stitch the beach. And then this one here is really cute too. It's got some other patterns in it too, but I want to look for, there it is. Okay, I want to make sure it has the main pattern, which is this. Check this out for you chicken lovers. Isn't that an adorable sampler? I love that chicken. Look, he's just fabulous. And he has an alphabet. So included with that is some barn animals. So there's a cow, a pig, a sheep. So those are in here. So it looks like it's all these different ones are included in here, which is like this. So it has a barn and some chicks. It has, yeah, barns and chicks and that. And yeah, that's what it looks like is all that is, yeah, that's it. So if you would like to stitch this one, if you'd like this pattern, put in your comments, I would like to stitch the chicken. So, and I'll enter you in a drawing for that. We will do the drawing in about 2 weeks. So I will look and see if I'm going to have a video in between or not. If I have a video in between, I'll remind you again to make sure that you put in for the drawing. I will tell you again that if you're entering the drawings, you must be a subscriber. That's number 1. Like the video. That's number 2. And then make sure that you comment correctly, because I'm going to be searching for the words chicken, beach, and blocks. Okay? Block or blocks. Make sure that those are the words you get. I want to stitch the blocks. I want to stitch the chicken. or I want to stitch the beach. Okay, and those are the words I'm going to search for, and then I'm going to filter. The people that are not subscribers will be filtered out. So make sure that you're a subscriber so that you are entered into the drawing. Okay, I think that's it for that. I'm going to talk about some things that are a little sensitive for me and others. If you're here for just the stitching, go ahead and I'll say goodbye to you now. I appreciate you coming by to watch and see what I'm working on, and I will definitely, I know y'all are screaming at me, where are the tutorials you promised? I will promise, I will try to get, if I have time today, I'll try to get 1 or 2 done today. If not, I'm off Friday and Saturday this week together. And if I can get my husband out of the house so I can spend some time filming videos, then I will shoot those and get them up. I know I still have the stocking video to do. I have a tutorial for, somebody asked me about the thread drops, how to do those. I'll do a quickie video on that. I have a video that I already did and I haven't edited it yet. That was for the pin stitch that I do, which I believe is different than what most people do. Trying to think. And I think there's some others too. So anyway, I'll try to get those up as I haven't forgot. I really haven't forgotten. It's just with my mother-in-law being ill and she's in the hospital again. Just as an update for those that are interested, she's in the final stages of dementia. Sometimes she can remember her son, sometimes she can't. A lot of times she can't remember anyone's name, although she says she acknowledges that she recognizes them. Things like feeding her and tell, you know, when you put food in her mouth, you have to actually tell her to chew, tell her to swallow. She's really having a difficult time. So anybody who is praying and you feel the need to do that, please do so. It's been difficult. Hoping that she will be going back to the nursing home in the next couple days. We're waiting. Hospice has been called, and they are also going to get involved when she's back in the nursing home to give her care while she's there in the nursing home, and we'll see what happens. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. And for those that you're going to hang around, I'm going to open up about some things that I haven't talked to anyone about, including my husband, until recently. And I'm going to tear up, and I can't control that, okay? And that's part of what I wanted to talk about, is people that have, including myself, that have anxiety, have social anxiety, or have issues dealing with situations and people. Me, my whole life, I've had a disorder where I cannot, at times, control my emotions. So I will be talking to somebody and you will see my eyes well up for no reason. Most of the time it's crying, it comes out as crying. Some people have this nervousness. I know I'm shaking this table, I'm sorry. Some people have where they get nervous and have anxiety and they laugh. You've seen people do that. They laugh at odd situations. Some people just totally shut down when they're in a situation where they're anxious or something is bothering them. For me, I cry. I consider myself a crybaby. I've dealt with it my whole life, but I've also had social anxiety. So what that means is, in social situations, I just feel so out of place. In a group of people, I will shut down. You will see me, but I really don't talk that much. I'm very quiet and shy, even though I'm on here doing flosstube. It is so different to be on here because basically I'm talking to myself, even though I'm talking to you guys. I'm looking at myself and talking to myself. And that's a lot easier than talking to strangers or people I don't know, or being more open. I am definitely not a social butterfly. For those of you that are social butterflies, oh, more props to you, that you have that openness to be able to do that. I do not. it is very difficult for me to make friends, and I have very few true friends in my life. I'll let a lot of people into my life because I've been burned many times, which adds to the anxiety of meeting people. And it is as real can be for anybody who goes through this. Now, I put a meme on my Facebook page about social anxiety, and I had several people message me and comment about that they had the same issues, which I knew I wasn't alone, but that doesn't help any. So if you see somebody that is in a group, and that's why I mentioned before to every stitcher should feel like she's part of the community. If you're in a group of people and you see someone sitting alone or not socializing or not having a good time, go, if you're a social butterfly, go sit down next to that person and start striking up a conversation and involve them, okay? Make them feel like they're part of the community, because most times, see, and I'm gonna well up now because I don't know if I can do this. Most times we are too shy or having an anxiety attack within ourselves to go approach people and talk to them. So, and I know there's a lot of people, sorry, this is not how I want to do this. I know there's a lot of people like me that feel that way. They don't look like they're having anxiety over being in a group, or they don't look like, but you don't know. You don't know what goes on inside other people. Okay, so always be kind. Always be friendly. I expect that all stitchers should want to feel friendly and want to feel wanted and want to feel like they're part of the group. So if you see somebody sitting by themselves or not socializing, then do something about it. Be that person that reaches out to them. So that's all I wanted to say. Crybaby. Okay, so what are my plans? Let's talk about my stitching plans if anybody's still watching this. How many of you are joining in on the Hands-On Designs Chalk Talk Sal? So I've got that all kitted up, and I'm going to start that on Saturday. Excited about that. I hand-dyed my own fabric. I picked my own colors. I changed it. It's similar colors, but it's not their colors, and I'm looking forward to starting that. I really want to start it today, but I won't. I'll wait. How many of you are embroidery.com doing their Love to Stitch hashtag for the month of February? If you haven't heard about that, I'll post that information. I'll post the link to their website below. They have a website, which is embroidery.com. They have a Facebook group. If you're interested in doing it, you stitch 30 minutes a day for 29 days, because this is a leap year. We have 29 days in February this year. And you have to post every day that you stitch for your 30 minutes, your before, your after, on the Facebook group. And if you do it for the full 30 days, and I think you can miss a couple days, but you really need to read the I'll call them instructions, read the details of joining, and you have to click the participate link. If you don't have an embroidery.com, if you're not signed up to them, you need to register and then find the link and hit participating, and then go to the Facebook page, and you do your post every day. And she is giving, I believe she is making up special needle minders for those people that are participating and make the event for the entire month. So that's going to be lots of fun to make sure that you're posting every single day. Again, make sure that you're, I'm sorry, I keep shaking this, don't I? Make sure that you're finding all that information below. I'll post it below, so make sure you're involved in that event. Right, you got Linens and Threads, 2020 Sal, which is a Quaker Sal. I'll make sure I post that below, so if you're interested in that, this is the first month that it started. You're not that far behind. You can get that done. It's very little stitching for each month. So grab some fabrics, grab some thread, doesn't matter what it is, whatever you want it to be. Whatever color you want to do, just do it. They give you the dimensions of the fabric depending on what size or count you're doing. They tell you what size to have, and just go with it and join in and post what you're working on. Just because you're not able to go to a stitching group or you're not able to go to a retreat doesn't mean that you can't be involved and post what you're working on so everyone can see your beautiful stitching. If anyone needs someone to talk to, if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me at my email address, CrossMyStitches@yahoo.com. I'm asking that you do not ask to join my Facebook because I do not put stitching on my Facebook for the most part. It is mostly family and friends, and I will tell you up front that it's also political. We're in the year of voting again in 2020. We will vote in November, and I don't want to upset or offend anyone by my political posts. So I'm trying not to add anyone to my Facebook group that I know is just a stitcher that's interested in my stitching, because I don't want to do that, because I try my hardest not to involve political stuff in my stitching or any of the groups, because it doesn't matter what party we belong to, it doesn't matter what we believe, what our values are. We're here for stitching. We're here to share our love of this craft, and we're not here to discuss our political views. So I do not, but I do it on my Facebook group, so I prefer you did not do that. I belong to many groups. Instagram, CrossMyStitches, I will post that up here and down below my Instagram. I post all my stitching on Instagram. I post it here on my YouTube channel. I posted in the groups I belong to, and I belong to many groups: the Hands-On Design group, the Little House Needleworks group. I belong to Stitch Mania. I could go on and on. All the individual groups for the designers that I love. Lavender and Lace has a group. Stony Creek has a group. Little House Needleworks has a group. Crossed Wing Collection has a group. So I belong to all those groups, all those individual designers that I happen to love. Plum Street Samplers, Blackbird Designs, they all have groups. If you're not aware that there's so many groups on Facebook, do a search, because there's like a ton, a plethora, that's a good word. There's a plethora of Facebook groups for stitching, and it's just awesome. And I love to be in the specialized groups, and I like to be in the general groups as well. So make sure that you're searching those people out and sharing your stitching with everyone. So again, thank you so much for listening to me go on and on. I just wanted to get that out in the open. So if we ever meet, if we're ever in a stitching event and you see me and I don't approach you and talk to you, come approach me. Come talk to me. It takes me a little bit to warm up to people. It takes me a little bit to open up to people. So, but I think I'm a pretty fantastic person. So hopefully you'll take that opportunity to do that. Again, sorry about the tears. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Love you all. Bye.